Welcome to another Down the Rabbit Hole video. Picked up something interesting in the health food store the other day that sounds actually somewhat unappetizing. I got me some snacky chips here, which is great. They look rather nice. What does that say? Cantina style. Awesome. Vegan? Sure, why not? But the thing that caught my eye is spent grain beer chips. What does that even mean? What are spent grain beer chips? Does this mean somebody found a bunch of like sludge at the bottom when they were making beer and they decided, hey, here's some spent grains. Why don't we turn this into a snack? Is that what we're eating? I don't know. I'm sure it all describes it on the back here, but I think what I will do is try some. And just to undo the damage of the spent grain beer, I have some actual beer standing by. This is from Steamworks, a local brewery here in Vancouver, and yeah, I figured if they've spent the grain making the beer, then I will re-establish it by having some beer. Who knows? Anyway, let's open this up and see what it's like. Oh, actually, they just look like regular, almost like Doritos. They're just tortilla chips. Weird. Okay. They're darker. I don't know if this is coming out in the camera or not. Yeah, they're darker than a standard chip that I'm used to. And it was slightly oily consistency. That's bizarre. What the heck? Is that oily? Or is that my imagination? Nope. Okay, I think we're okay. Anyway, so yes, they look the same size and shape as a regular old tortilla chip. Gonna just bite in here and find out what it's like. Oh, now that's strange. That's what the heck? I don't know if I like that or, well, okay, it's not bad. Yeah, see, there's like an oily consistency. Anyway, very strange. I mean, basically, you would swear that's just, move that out of the way. You would swear that's just a regular old nacho chip thing, kind of thing you would have at a party. But they have a drier, almost cardboard-like, yeah, look at the shininess there. They have a drier, almost cardboard-like element to them. There's a little bit of flavor, like you would get in a plain Dorito or, you know, the kind of Tostitos thing that you would use for dipping into salsa. And yet, oh, that's got a bizarre dullness to it. Weird. All right, let's have another. I'm very curious what the heck is the story here, because these do not taste all that great. When Casa Bonita set out to make the ultimate cantina-style tortilla chips, we didn't cross oceans and deserts to find secret ingredients or rack our brains in search of some trendy new twist. When we sought the ultimate cantina-style tortilla chip recipe, we turned to the one place we knew that had a valuable lesson to teach. What? We turned to the one place we knew had a valuable lesson to teach home in Mexico. What does that even mean? From our family in Mexico to yours. So, in Canada, well, there you go. So that's interesting. Casa Bonita's Cantina Style. Let me have another one while I'm reading this. Casa Bonita's Cantina Style tortilla chips follow a recipe handed down to us by our abuelitas. What's that word? Relying on a few local ingredients to produce a pure and simple flavor. Our tortillas are made the same way our abuelitas have made them for generations. I assume that's like a grandmother, aunt, or something like that. Or grandfather. Bite into one here. The flavor's growing on me, but it's very papery, cardboardy stuff. Anyway, let's continue. As sustainability is such an important part of Casa Bonita, we wanted to partner with one of the greenest breweries in Canada, Steam Whistle Brewing. Oh, not Steamworks. Wouldn't that have been a great coincidence? Steamworks and Steam Whistle. Oh well. Steam Whistle's bottles can be recycled almost 50 times, and along with their other many green initiatives, they ensure to reuse their spent grain. So it is empty husks of beer bits left over that they've turned into a chip. What? We've taken this grain, turned it into flour, and with this have created our new tortilla chips. Best enjoyed with Steam Whistle Pilsner. Well, it's going to be Steamworks Kolsch Lager. Best enjoyed with Steam Whistle Pilsner. These chips are sustainable, delicious, and purely Canadian. From our family in Mexico to yours in Canada. Well, what do you know? So yeah, they have taken the spent grains used in making beer and turned it into a chip. That's bizarre. Let's have another one. Now that I've learned its story, let's give it a fair shake. I still don't know if I'm wild about that flavor, but you know what? Let's wash it down with some Steamworks beer. Cheers. Very nice. Okay. Well, so from a sustainability point of view versus actual flavor, what are these like? I mean, yeah, these will work as a tortilla chip at the side of your drinks at the bar, and it'll work very well. Definitely if you were to scoop it and dip it into something. I'll tell you one thing that is, now that I've had a few, that I'm noticing, it doesn't have that residual fat kind of feeling. You know how if you've had a couple of chips, you almost need to wash your mouth out with, maybe some beer to cleanse the palate. This doesn't have that. These are not dry. I mean, you've seen the greasiness on my fingers. These are not dry, but they have a lighter, crisper, cleaner after-mouth flavor feeling to them. I don't really have a good way to describe it. I think I could down a bunch more of these than I could an equivalent of like Doritos or Tostitos or any of those like very upmarket or very common tortilla chip brands. I think I could eat way more of these because they seem to be, okay, to use an analogy, like if these were milk, Doritos would be like whole milk, Tostitos would be, say, 2%. These are like skim milk, if you will. They have the flavor and the consistency and all that kind of good stuff, but these feel like something I could have a lot more of in rapid succession and enjoy. And definitely down with some beer, of course. So I will applaud them. They're doing sustainability. Here's this brewery with some spent grain. Why don't we spent grain beer bits and pieces. How did they describe it again? We've taken this grain, turned it into flour, and with this have created our new tortilla chips. Worst case scenario, I'm playing in my head a scene of like, I don't know, a big vat that has been used to make and brew together some beer. And there's all the bits hanging on the edges of the vat. They've decided to pulverize that into like a powder, into a flour, and made these chips. Is that correct? Is that what I'm accurately predicting here? If that's the case, it's quite decent. It's a nice initiative. I like the idea. You do get quite a few in the bag here. That's good. So, yeah, I will applaud them for what they're trying to do. I think the overall flavor is quite decent. You are ending up with an okay chip. I don't think it would win in a taste test comparison with the big boys like Doritos, Tostitos, etc. But the fact that they are reusing spent grain and turning it into quite a decent chip, it is on par. It may not be great for the flavor department, but it actually has a good crunch to it. I think I could eat more of these than I could the others. This has a lightness to it. There's something kind of pleasant to eating these. So, yeah, I think these are actually okay. I just had to try them out. When I saw that name on the shelf, Spent Grain Beer Chips, I thought, what on earth are these? And now I know. Okay, well, very nice. Cheers to you, Casa Bonita, for thinking outside the box and making something different. I'm going to enjoy some non-spent beer. I'm going to spend it down my throat, and maybe you will be able to make more chips out of that. Cheers to you guys, and until next time, we'll see you down the rabbit hole.